6:05. Thank you, Jayant. Let's let people in once we begin. So, a very good evening, everybody. I'm Priyanka, Coach Connecting Officer from Team Matrix. And right now I'm reporting from Germany. So, it's quite nice and sunny, summery here. I think it's 2:30. So, I'm very excited for this session today. And Matrix being global, we are able to connect through various state cities. Are you able to hear me all, Jayant? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So today we are here for a very interesting topic, yet another one. So as everybody who has joined us already and everybody is going to see us live and also later, Coach Connect is a platform, an episode that we have every month. So we invite people who are associated with Matrix, who have an enriching experience in diverse fields. That is how through coaching, mentoring, Dr. Paras's vision of connecting people and sharing knowledge. So today morning, actually, I picked this book. Okay, so this is the Bhagavad Gita, and the interpretation is from R.R. Verma, and it sets the tone for today's topic. I'm just going to lead one line, which before I introduce our esteemed guest today, in the preface, R.R. Verma says, "The art of mingling spiritualism in daily life is beyond reach for many people. Okay, but it is the spiritual experience is something that you have to experience in mundane plane of everyday life. It is not something that you pick yourself, go to the mountains, practice spirituality, and come back. So today's topic, Beyond the Ordinary, Discovering the Depths of Spiritual Intelligence, this book set the tone today for me. And with this, I'm going to introduce our guest for today, who is going to tell us about one of the most intriguing topics, also sometimes controversial, also which has got a lot of criticisms and also appreciations, mainly surrounding around spiritual intelligence. The purpose of this topic in relation to mentors, leadership, coaching, is to really understand that how we discover it and transform our lives in real sense, because we read a lot about it, but we have our esteemed guest today. He's someone who has dedicated his entire life unlocking the secrets of the soul. That is how I would put it in my script, and helping others do the same. So when we were discussing, when I met Krishna ji for these sessions, when we have pre-sessions to understand the topic, when I asked him, how do you want me to introduce you? So maybe I realized it later that, he is a teacher of Indic wisdom. Okay. And more about his journey we shall unfold as Krishna ji speaks to us. Okay. So on behalf of Matrix, Krishna ji, can we have you on screen? Yes. Namaste, Krishna ji. Thank you for joining us today.
Namaste.
Team Matrix is extremely happy to work with you, be with you, know your information, know everything about you. So thank you for being here. Do you want to share something before we begin? I've got a lot of questions for you.
Grateful that we are having this sharing session. I'm equally grateful for, other than you, two of them who are on camera. We all study and evolve, seek together, Harish and April, who are there. And also I can see Sabjot, Sai, and yes, and you, obviously. Others, unless they come on camera, I will not know. Maybe I know, I don't know.
No, but yeah. So we have Deepa who's
Yes.
saying hi.
Hi. The reason I
Okay.
told you that introduction
Yeah, go ahead.
is superfluous, particularly for any topic, I feel introduction is superfluous because it's going to give a baggage in the listener's mind and stress to the speaker.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there is nothing. So there needs to be a component of trust. So those who trust Matrix, trust whoever speaker you bring in. They don't do the research. They don't need to do the research. Like I don't go and do the research on how paracetamol works. I trust my doctor. Similarly,
Absolutely.
if we understand this, I think we can all log out. That is spiritual intelligence. The idea or the compulsion to know everything and anything, a complete picture, is that which is blocking us from our regular intelligence only. Forget spiritual intelligence. So that is the reason I requested both of you that, or three of you, when we had a pre-session, any introduction is superfluous. Either it will influence the listener or it will create a lot of expectation. Now we can have a freewheeling chat, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. With everybody joining in, I
Yes.
think it's going to be a very free-flowing and
Yeah.
meaningful sessions. And with the questions that I have, I'm very curious about this entire thing called spiritual intelligence. And without much delay, considering the time and also the amount of knowledge that we want from you. So the first really thing is to understand is you mentioned about pradnya. You mentioned about the highest and purest form of
Yes.
wisdom, intelligence, and understanding.
Hmm.
You also talked about, I remember, of Sukshma Buddhi and other types. So tell
Yes.
us what spiritual intelligence is. Tell us if there are different forms of intelligence, say emotional or whatever that's going on in the world right now. So tell us more about what is spiritual intelligence according to your lenses, as per your lenses.
Okay. See, whatever we are going to assess right now is based on our present knowledge. Whether I am, for some of you, it may appear I am blabbering. For some of you, you might have read similar things. But at the end, you are going to assess someone based on your present knowledge. See, as long as you are happy and content with your present knowledge, that this topic will not flow because you're already blocking it. You want everything to conform to your present knowledge. So that is the basic intelligence which tells you, I know this subject, I don't know this subject. So any knowledge which you are open to receive, which is beyond your present storehouse, that, what you can say, that kind of an intention is required for this spiritual intelligence to flow. For simple reason, this word is an oxymoron.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is no other better word to express. They have used this word. Because generally, when you say intelligence, it is based on present knowledge. I will keep telling this again. So when there is an openness, so where openness happens is when you have a trust. When you have a trust
on
something which already is there. To make this point clear, we need to understand that this topic can be understood or approached in two different ways.
Okay.
One is a pure perception, scientific, measurement based, where we only use our present knowledge and 5 senses. Maybe you can plug in an electroencephalogram to my head and find what waves are flowing. You know, that is limiting way to understand. Wherein you feel, I don't need to trust, I don't believe in a higher source, I don't believe in God. So traditionally, such an approach is called a Nastika approach. But we want to use the word spiritual, but we want to approach it in a non-spiritual way. That is a problem which people have to resolve. If you say it is spiritual intelligence, you have to believe in the spirit. But people who are having controversies and problems are people who don't have belief in God. I don't have belief in God. God is a very easy word. I don't believe in a intelligence which is higher intelligence, but I want to have spiritual intelligence. So they themselves confuse and contradict there. Then such people's intelligence only will be from books and existing knowledge, because you don't believe anything beyond, right?
Yes, you've got a preset.
So we are not, what you can say, I am not equipped to deal with such people because I don't know anything in that domain. I have not read any books on this, okay? So if you ask me a technical question, I have no idea about it. But the approach what tradition gives is through quietening the mind, can you allow something to enter? Is it okay? Because the mind will never be quiet as long as you are using your present knowledge, So you have to make the mind a bit quieter and make it understand there are few pockets of knowledge which will always be there, which is beyond our present knowledge. First, that openness should be there. Okay. Second,
Okay.
when
Okay.
I said the second way to approach this topic is through, in Indian systems, we call it an astika. Astika means the one who has belief in Veda or knowledge as the final authority. So today's session, we are going to approach in the Astika way.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful.
If you don't believe in a higher source, then we should not discuss this topic because there's nothing called spiritual, no. So we should only discuss about intelligence, wind up and go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So by nature, if you are going to have this topic, it has to have a believer's approach.
Believer's approach. Well
Uh,
said. Okay.
Otherwise, we can have this talk over a cup of tea. Some people talk sitting in a bar stool holding juice. Another person is holding some other drink. That kind of discussions, this topic will give a lot of kick. Whether the drink is giving you or not, this intellectual intoxication will give you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we are
And-
not going to do that gymnastics today. So what we are trying to do, you used the word prajna. In fact, that word was long lost inside me till someone in the screen, April, broached this topic 2 months back when we are running a program for coaches and leaders on how to integrate ICF competencies and Indic wisdom. So
Okay,
that is the
okay.
time she brought up and said, why not we address this directly? Because without prajna, there is no Indic wisdom. So what is prajna? Prajna is that spark which descends when you are ready to receive. Like Archimedes was ready to receive. So Eureka, he shouted, and we branded it and we made some vacuum cleaner also in that. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And is there any chemistry student in the behind the woods?
Do we have
Yeah.
do we have anyone? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Not the coach discovery call or chemistry call. You can be a management student and still have a chemistry call. Okay. I want a real chemistry student because the benzene ring was intuited by the scientist in a dream after he had exhausted all the possibilities. Because whenever you design or write about a molecule structure, that structure based on that, every molecule is there. CH3, H2O. So the molecular structure
Yes.
will be there.
Yes.
So the benzene ring was intuited by the scientist when he saw in the dream a snake holding its own tail. So how can we answer what Archimedes discovered and this scientist discovered about benzene ring using our present knowledge?
Present knowledge.
Yeah. So what the tradition tells is, even an invention is nothing but a set of discoveries put together is an invention. And the word discovery means you are discovering, which is already there, which is covered, you are discovering. So technically, there is nothing new we are making in this world.
Nothing new.
So this is one more very important thing, because the moment we speak about intelligence in the day-to-day, people think they are going to do something new every time. They are going to
Extraordinary, out of the yeah.
Very right. It's all academic understanding. So what is this prajna? Prajna is that which descends when the mind is quiet, and that which the seer, the rishis experienced the truth. The word seer in English, in Sanskrita,
Yes.
it is called the seer. So the seer, they saw the truth and they registered as knowledge. That truth was registered as knowledge. That body of knowledge is called Veda. Now, any topic you speak, you have to first decondition people's mind. I'll tell you an example.
How? Yes, yes, please.
Okay. I am talking with you in English.
Right.
Does that mean I and you belong to a particular religion?
No.
But when I
No.
say something in Samskrita, why people assume that we belong or we propose something? So we have this inherent bias. Language is a means to communicate a message. Like when I say
Message. Information.
Osimum sanctum, that is the way Tulsi is understood across the globe. In India, you call it Tulsi. In German language, I don't know, you can
Tulsi.
figure it out. Sai Karthik is also attending from
Yes.
Germany. So that is different
Oh,
in German.
fabulous. Okay.
Yeah. So you need a common terminology. So botanically, you call it Osimum sanctum. Sanctum means that which is having sanctity. Thus, language is a
Sanctity. Yes.
means to communicate a knowledge which can be standardly understood across the globe. So Samskrita as a language needs to be understood like this. So what is a seer? A seer is called a rishi. In English, you have seer. Okay.
Right.
That word in Samskrita is called a rishi. When the rishi saw knowledge, that knowledge was recorded and a big repository came up. That repository is called Veda.
Mm.
So what is an Astika approach? Whatever we are trying to discover, if we have a doubt, there is like today you go to Google and find out. Okay, for German time,
Absolutely.
what is this IST? For the US time, what is the IST? You have a ready reckoner in Google. Like that, whenever there is something to be verified, you have the oldest Google available is Veda. Very simple.
Vedas.
It doesn't mean you are religious, non-religious. That is your personal choice. You cannot deny the existence of knowledge. Okay. So
Yes.
we are going to approach this word prajna is from that literature.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Is it okay?
Amazing. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, so then what? So you mentioned about two approaches, Nastika and Astika. Okay, and you also talked about how the how it is important spirituality, which signifies to me is openness, is more openness to experiences. The moment you feel you're open to new things, okay, you're ready to you maybe activate a different level of functioning. Probably the brain studies, I'm not sure, but then you can help me elaborate further. So considering the same thing today, like why are we in this world today suddenly people are talking about spiritual intelligence in today's time? Like, do we need it? Is it crucial now? How is it going to directly benefit individuals? You know, how can one achieve to raise it? So, why now? Or it has been earlier before and it has been faded and now coming back. What are your thoughts on it, Krishna?
Yeah. One is discovering new things, new insights. Another is discovering new insights about which you already know. So I know something about Harish and April and you. But if I'm open, every day I can discover something new about you. And I can be happy about it. So it is not always we have to discover new things, because Stigler's law also clearly says that whatever we are trying to discover or figure out is already there in some other form. You're only recycling it. Old wine in new bottle. Okay, so we are trying to do that. And reason why today we need this a peep into spiritual intelligence is many of us here are able to afford a certification or have done our graduation or post-graduation or masters or at various academic institutions of international repute. Correct?
Yes.
And we also know intelligently, we understand you need a sleep, you have to have a good diet, you need to do this, you need to do that. Third, you also can afford to buy the best of the mattresses, the air conditioners, all the creature comforts, we can afford all that. But though we intelligently understand sleep is important, diet is important, how many of us are able to sleep well in the costliest of the bed we ever had in life? That is where our intelligence is coming on the way of even living peacefully. So the intelligence which we are acquiring through certifications and courses, we assume that can be replicated in inner life and in our relationship with others. That is not the way it works. People are dynamic. Situations are dynamic. Our own mind is dynamic. But your marks you acquired are static only. You knew something. So they gave you some marks. And the marks was also based on how much you could express on the day of your exam.
Yeah, recall, yes.
Maybe you knew much better. Exam stress, you could also not write well. So even you may have knowledge, you may have skill set. What is stopping us from bringing it to the table? Because we are intelligent, but we are not spiritually intelligent.
Well said.
For that, I would request how many? Okay, I know Sai is traveling in a bus. Other than that, if any of you have the bandwidth to come on the camera, it will be great. Otherwise, I'm feeling like it's an FM program. And whichever way you look, whichever way you look, you are unique, you are great. If I can come boldly on camera, I think all of you should come.
Can I request the group to be on camera?
Yeah.
Unless
Did we
it is
go
an
and see
extreme
a
emergency
movie
and it cannot
blindfolded?
be.
We will not do that, no? We don't go and see a movie blindfolded.
Thank you, Sarvajo. Thank you, Shalaka.
Yeah. And whatever way we are, it is okay. Whichever home we are there, some screen is hanging behind. Absolutely, at least people who are coming to these sessions know we are non-judgmental. We tried our best to be there. That's more than enough. And today in Zoom, you can also blur the screen if you want. Sai, please, you can switch off. I know you are not in the place. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you,
Okay.
Subodh.
The reason I'm telling you is we theoretically know that there are 4 statements which is exploded into Johari window and all that stuff. I will give you a simple example. Any of you having your mobile phone next to you, if I should ask who is not having, no, then only people will raise the hand. Everybody will be having mobile phones next to you, right?
Yes, yes.
So Jay, can I ask you one small question? How many apps are there in your mobile phone right now? The number of apps?
I need to first look for the mobile. I don't know where I kept that since morning.
Yeah, but how many apps have you installed in your phone?
I'm sure there should be at least 30, 40 apps.
30, 40.
Okay. So, okay, let me ask Shalaka, right?
Yes, Shalaka. Hi, Shalaka. Welcome.
Okay.
Hello.
What is your official email ID? We will not send any email. I'm just asking you.
It's shalaka@shalakatambe.com.
Okay. How many emails are there right now in your inbox?
I'll have to go and count.
Yeah. So, this statement I am just taking from Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He said all our knowledge is still that one question which is asked at us for which we don't know the answer. Okay. So when we look at it, when you put the quadrant, we say, I don't know that I know. I don't know that I don't know. Then I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know. For example, if you ask me, do you ride, I don't know whether you fly a plane. I don't know. I know that I can't fly a plane. Correct? But if you ask me even what is there for dinner, I really don't know. I know that I don't know. Correct? But out of these 4 statements, 2 statements started with I don't know. I don't know, I know, I don't know that I don't know. Correct? So anyway, in life, 50% of the things we don't know. Why are we not accepting it? Why are we not using our present intelligence to understand 50% of the things in life we don't know right now, we don't know. Next, I know that I don't know. There are so many skill sets we need. Suppose somebody asks, How is ChatGPT working? What is the version going on? How can you do this? I'll say, I know that I don't know. Finished. So still 25% you take. So any situation which is coming to us, technically speaking, mathematically speaking, you can handle only 1/4 of the number of situations which are coming to us. The probability is 1/4 only, no, 0.25%. But this is where we think we can handle everything, we know everything, and we put a lot of stress in us. The moment we relax that and we accept that I don't know, the flow which will reach you is unbelievable. You can try it. One person I know who has tried in this screen is Harish. He operates from that state many times. So I've had a lot of interactions with him. Because what flows into him, through him, because of him, the benefit is going to be for everyone. It is like, so I am trying to pick up my phone. I am trying to call Janaki. Janaki is also trying to pick up the phone and trying to call me. It will be constantly engaged. This is how we are blocking real knowledge. So you need to let go. So the first step to develop spiritual intelligence is the ability to let go. In yoga, we say, do the best, leave the rest, Ishvara Pranidhana, Niyama. The fifth Niyama is that. In all our spiritual sampradayas, it is called Sharanagati. Unless a person gets to that stage, it is difficult. I'll give you a real life example when it happened in the life of Vashishta Ganapati Muni, when he wanted to compose a Sahasranama on the deity Uma. Uma Sahasram is the text name. Many of you who are reading about Ramana Maharishi will know this story. So he took a vow that he will finish writing all the 1,000 on a particular day. And he is such dexterous and his outpour of Sanskrita is very great. I think 2 to 4 people were taking dictations. And in the corner, Ramana Maharishi was sitting in a quiet meditative state. When the 1,000th verse was dictated, quietly Ramana opened his eyes and said, have the dictations be taken down. Till that time, everyone thought Vashishta Ganapati's intellect is giving that information. You are understanding the enormity of the situation there. So when a realized master was there, the knowledge flow was able to reach others through a medium. This has happened in 1930s. This is happening even today. So this is because they were open and receptive. The prajna was there. And they said, I don't know, really. See, all our academic knowledge will give us sthula buddhi. We will be very smart. We can outsmart others, outmaneuver. But the sukshma buddhi, which is subtle intellect, will come only when we open out to the higher source through 1 or 2 types of sadhana. So I stop here and hand over to you for any observations or questions. You are muted.
The group, the team, anyone has questions, anyone wants to share something about it, please let us know. You can put that in a chat. We can, continue this conversation. Thank you, Krishnaji. This was extremely, I remember you talking about Sukshma Buddhi and Sthula Buddhi. So on the same lines, we also talked about, I like the way you mentioned that people are very dynamic. I work with people because I'm a psychologist, and it is helping me really to understand perceptions, how people come and see their problems, and how I could use my therapies to help people along. On the same lines, when we talked about the difference between the cosmic intelligence and individual intelligence. I remember you talked about that, whatever you do, you're not doing it alone. There are several. So when you say you're achieving something, it's not your own. So what is it that, you were talking about, and would you like to elaborate us more about, along with the lines that we are sharing right now?
I had a question. Can I?
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Please go ahead.
Hi. So it's wonderful listening to you and understanding the power of I don't know. But then, just to give you a quick background about myself, I went to care management of elderly people. And when you look at when you look at it from the dimension of an elderly person, I'm trying to connect it with the spiritual intelligence. They are in a spectrum of a belief system where they believe they know everything, and they don't have the motivation of learning more things, and that is where stagnation hits into them, and they get into different darker dimensions of life, of dementia, disability, etc. I gave you the background. My question is, how do you help them get into the spiritual intelligence path? Now, because I believe every human being has the right to live and right to live happily till the last breath. If I could contribute to making them smile through spiritual intelligence, what are the key takeaways that I can take and probably implement in life to see that everyone's, even I and everyone, living a happy life?
An excellent question. And I think as all of us assembled here should congratulate you for the kind of work you are doing. It's very inspiring. I'll give you two approaches. One is if that elderly person has tooth intact, there is one easy approach. If they don't have, then another approach is there. If they have, the teeth is good. See, all of us have teeth now. We call teeth or tooth. Tooth is singular, no? Okay, it doesn't matter. You all understood, right? I think teeth is
Yes.
okay.
Singular
So when
and
the teeth is intact, first you learn cooling pranayama. Shitali, Shitkari, Sadanta. These three are cooling pranayamas. Any cooling pranayama will help the brain to rejuvenate and prevent dementia and any brain-related disorders. So we can do it instead of getting old and practicing, we can practice that even now. Okay. So first thing is that. And many times we teach children without telling we are teaching them English, social studies, physics or chemistry, because it doesn't matter. Everything is in English, no? So we don't need to use the words like spiritual intelligence. We don't need to use any words, but we use the processes for them. So for them, we could take science as a gateway for health. So what we could tell them is, whoever in the world, at any point of time, their brains will emit only 5 types of waves. You approach them through that level. So when they are able to practice any technique through which they can be in a state of alpha, then what happens? Their mind will be in the present moment. They will become non-judgmental. Then they will ask you, what should I do to generate alpha waves in my brain? So you can teach them a small mantra or breathing, observing the breath, but don't allow them to be on their own. 3 to 6 minutes, you sit with them and ensure that you are giving a mantra or a breath for mindfulness. Don't give them just sit quiet and be mindful about it. They will go mad. So you give them a process to hold on to. And then when you do that, what happens? Gradually, they will understand. And when you are giving that exercise, you can tell them the unchangeable things around. Like you can't now ask a bird to chirp differently. Suddenly, a car cannot sound like an aeroplane. So subtly, you have to give them messages. Certain things are the way they are. And you need to accept certain things. In a subtle way, we also will start accepting elders are going to be like that. When we are growing old, we are also going to be like that. So it is this Sukshma Buddhi which is coming into the play.
Yes.
And the Stula Buddhi. Stula Buddhi is the gross and intellect where you bring in brain wave and all those things. The Sukshma is the subtle. What is the intention? To help them gracefully age and die. So your intention is there. So you start with these pranayama techniques and start with giving certain exercises which will help them in the brain as a group. And gradually we need to understand we can tap this subject only if they are an astika. That we have to be very clear. After a particular age, you cannot tell someone you have to believe in something.
I cannot force faith. Yes.
We cannot do this. So that is the limitation of applying this concept for non-believers. So you have to only go through science of pranayama, mindfulness, mantra, and keeping them some eye exercises which Swami Satyananda has taught. There are a lot of eye exercises. The eye exercises activate the brain properly and they will release stress and also help the brain to function in a better way. Like circling the eyes, staying still, you have to circle the eyes here, cross. So if you approach any Satyananda yoga teacher or traditional yoga teachers, they will share these eye exercises. So this pranayama, activities-based mindfulness, not just a mindfulness. Like using breath or a mantra, then the eye exercises, these things are going to help people, brain to function better.
Thank you, Guruji. I'll just summarize to make sure that I have made a note of what you said. You asked me to, or you suggested that we all start performing this cooling pranayama exercise through which the channels of the mind open to a broader extent and we are more aware of our surroundings. Second is
I think
we lost him. Okay.
Yeah, we
okay.
missed.
I think
He'll
two things
connect
were
us.
mixed up. We will address when he comes back.
Yeah, no problem. So till then, can we continue with till then he comes back? Can you tell us like what we discussed about cosmic intelligence and individual intelligence? Can you elaborate? Because I find cosmic intelligence a very fancy term. So tell us more about it.
Yeah.
Very Instagram-ish. Yeah.
I'll just give one summary.
Sorry, I'm back.
Back.
Yes.
Subodh, the pranayama cooling techniques are directly related with brain, anti-aging and dementia. This mindfulness using breath or mantra will help us in accepting situations around as it is. Okay. Third, you can also try Yoga Nidra like techniques which will help them, which we are anyway going to talk later in the session.
Yes, we're going to talk about Yoga Nidra. Yes.
Now, coming to this cosmic intelligence and individual intelligence. In a very basic way, in the teamwork, what we are taught, 1 + 1 = 11. Correct? 1 + 1 = 11, no? When you teach about synergy, teamwork, 1 + 1 = 2 in mathematics. Correct?
Okay. Okay.
How it can be 11, we are thinking, just remove the plus symbol. No, 1 + 1 will be 11.
Yes.
Simple.
Okay.
Okay. Like that,
yes.
So how many of us are here in the screen? 1, 2, 3, 5, 20 people are there.
Yeah.
So where are our Gmails stored?
Emails, yeah, on the inbox. Yes. Email
No,
on the
collectively all our 20 emails. That's
so
something called a
Jayant
cloud,
has
right? That's something
yes,
called
Jayant, yes.
That
Cloud.
is an approximate understanding of an
cloud.
intelligence and cosmic intelligence. The collective intelligences of people who are alive. Tomorrow, we are all going to die. There's no doubt about it. And there is nothing called deletion of any data. Anything can be retrieved today. So energy once created, it's like that only. In one form or other, it will be there. So dead people's email also will be there only.
There.
Got it? Like this, generations of knowledge, generations
Yes.
of things are available in the cosmos to tap. This, in the esoteric way, they call it Akashic record also, which is part of the higher intelligence. It's the sum total of all the beings, not only human beings. Okay. Who taught monkeys to hold their mothers when they are babies? Who told the kitten
The
just it
instinct.
has to keep quiet, the mother will hold it by the scruff? These are all intelligences. These are all available. We are only making use of that, like the camera is an extension of your eye, no? Samsung ad came. Whatever is existing there, you can only improvise. And you can only improvise when you know, right now, I don't know, I have to find a solution. Then only new solution you can see. So what we will do is we are going to tap it into that cosmic intelligence. Now, just observing how a parrot is making sound, a vehicle is making sound. When your mind is quiet and you are being aware of everything other than you start picking up information from things around. So that is why they say when you go to the meeting, when you are a better listener, you can grasp more. You can come out intelligent. Like that, when you are quietening your mind in your private time or in workplace, you will start getting access to inputs which are right now beyond our present knowledge. So for that, the easiest of the processes are given in Yoga Tantra, because today Vedic system is beyond the reach of commoners like us. It requires a lot of rigor. So the applications are provided in Yoga Vedanta and the Tantra systems. So we need to practice certain techniques, because by only intellectually discussing, nothing is going to happen. We will feel guilty that there is a lot of knowledge, but I don't know how to use it.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, because while we were addressing this, we talked about application of spirituality, and that is how when we met, you mentioned about Yoga Nidra. So give us some 5 important facts about it, and what should we as an audience should know about it before we really start into practicing. It's not a one-day thing. You sit and you start. As you said, we need to be aware of many things, and the term that it is more of believers in it. More of Astika approach where, believers in it. So tell us more about Yoga Nidra that you've been practicing or teaching people.
So there are various schools which are available today to practice, but the one who made this popular is Bihar School of Yoga in the 1960s. Swami Satyananda brought it, and he restructured the ancient practice.
Okay.
So because the yogis and the people who are in the path of self-discovery wanted to stay awake and alert, they started to learn and practice this process.
Okay.
So according to Swami Satyananda, 1 hour of Yoga Nidra gives us 4 hours equivalent of rest and relaxation.
Okay.
And that 1 hour Yoga Nidra, we should practice with complete, as much as possible, awareness. Now, this again is clinically studied and verifiable. In NIMHANS Bangalore to Menninger Foundation in the US, they have done enough research. So when someone consciously learns and practices Yoga Nidra, they are increasing the probability of delta wave to flow in the brain when they go to sleep. Delta gives deep sleep ability in which cellular level repairs happen in the body. And it is deeply tied up with our circadian rhythm. So our 10 to 3 or 10:30 to 3:30 approximately.
3:30 approach.
Yeah, we have to we have to sleep properly. At least we know how to rest so that the body is allowed to do its functioning of repairing. And then what happens? This process, when you practice clearly with understanding, alpha state can be generated during your practice itself. In alpha state, a person can be non-judgmental, they can absorb more, they can listen better, and they can think without bias. Alpha state is, to say in a common man's language, they can develop the ability to be a very good witness. A witness doesn't engage in action. A witness only reports what exactly happened without adding their masala. Correct? That is why in the court also the witness is called. Both parties are there. The witness is mainly
non-biased.
cross-checked before the verdict is given. Because a witness is someone who is supposed to say things as it is, as it unfolded. So that means that ability in us is given by when we invoke the alpha state. So Yoga Nidra helps us to do that as well. So how this achieves is this process is mapped to the 5 sheets each of us walk around with. It's called Panchakosha in the Upanishads. What we see now physically is called the Annamaya Kosha, the physical sheath. Then the breath which is happening is an expression of prana, Pranamaya Kosha, the energy or the life force body. And then the mind is called the Manonmaya Kosha. And right now, we are all trying to understand what's going on from 6 o'clock using our Vijnana, intellect. And we are trying to understand which is beyond the intellect, which is Anandamaya, which is spiritual. Because when we were children, we were told, earn well, you will be happy. Go abroad, you will be happy. We have done everything. When you join a job, they say, first get a credit card, go for a abroad holiday. Till you swipe, you are happy. When you start paying EMI, you know who is happy, the bank is. So we understand happiness in only quantifiable things.
Yes.
Our mere being alive itself, we should be happy, no? Without any disease. So we don't feel happy because a lot of time we don't know in English dictionary, there is a word called gratitude.
Yes.
So this way in Yoga Nidra, we tap the 5 sheets of existence. As per Upanishads, it appears that the Supreme Being, the reality is behind and beyond these 5 sheets. How to easily understand? Moment the breath leaves the body, life is gone, right? But now I am talking with you. The body is the physical body. But because I am able to observe and see this body, I am not this. Like I am able to see for example, Tarun is there. I clearly know I am not Tarun, right? Because I can see Tarun there. So because you are able to see the body, our scriptures say you are not the body because you are able to see the body. You are able to feel the breath. You are able to observe what is going on in your mind. Like that, like onion layer, onion is peeled, no? Like that, when you do a process like Yoga Nidra, you slowly understand what you are not first, and then what you are will become very clear to you. Okay. To begin with, it works in the brain. It works in a particular location called little man in the brain. If you Google, you will know. Little man in the brain. I'm reading the syllabus itself of Yoga Nidra. So when you do the body level scanning and taking the awareness through the body parts in a particular way, a system called little man in your brain gets activated and it starts to help you relax the body. Then when you are aware of the breath, the key is understanding the difference between awareness, concentration, meditation. That's a different subject. But what I'm trying to tell you is the moment you become a witness to your own breath, that breath will put you in touch with prana. Okay. Then when you are aware of various visualizations, which in Yoga Nidra you will be taken through, you will understand how steady, calm and collected your mind is. Then slowly in higher levels, emotions, many other things, the practitioner is taken over. So slowly what happens, first the practitioner will understand, I have everything, but I actually don't know anything. Many of us don't know how the heart functions, kidney functions. We actually don't know anything. So Yoga Nidra like process will clearly establish without us feeling inferior, we are not alone in this game. In the world, nobody knows anything. Everybody thinks they know everything and they are functioning and creating chaos. Because I know is the most dangerous word which should be banished from people's life. The moment you say, I know, that means we don't know. That's it. So
There's a
when
block, yeah,
people
barrier.
like Yoga Nidra, along with Antar Mauna, Mantra Sadhana, and set of Pranayama, it helps us to reasonably reach exactly who you are as a personality. Then you will know what is the limit of your present intellect and when you need help. Unless you press F1, even the computer will not help you. It is present in computer.
Yeah.
But you have to press F1. Call center number is given in the bank. Unless you call, you will not get help.
Dial it.
Like that,
Action.
we need to practice this consciously to receive the help from the cosmic level. And what Swami Satyananda has said, you have to first decide what is your desire, and there is a method to convert that desire into a resolve. Now, this is where the field which you are in, Priyanka, and Yoga Nidra are different. As a
Yes.
psychologist, as a
Thank you.
psychotherapist, you exactly are going to operate with the client with their knowledge already have.
Yes.
You are also part of Matrix, which is a coaching organization. A coach
Correct.
sits before the client, clearly knowing I don't know anything about the client. In fact, I don't need to know about the client. I don't need to know the story of the client. Then the unfolding happens for the client. The aha moment happens for the client.
Yes.
Same way, in Yoga Nidra, the instructor or the teacher is never curious to know what is your desire or the resolve.
Beautiful. Okay.
So a mesmerism, practitioner of mesmerism, hypnotism, psychotherapy, counseling, psychologist, counselor, basic counselor, all of them will be curious about who you are, what is your life, unless they know they can't help you. Even a healer, they all want to know who you are, your why of your life. But only a coach and somebody in the spiritual realm will not want to know who you are, because you have to deal with your life. Correct? So Yoga Nidra comes into that space of not knowing even the practitioner what they are having, but helping the practitioner to decide how to make a resolve and use it in the process. Is that okay?
Yes. It's quite interesting because, because as you're telling me right now, the first thing we do is case history. I go back, I ask questions, I want to know, we build a base, we understand what is the situation. So there's a preset knowledge that comes in and the analysis begins then and there. So I think here is more of discovery where we don't know what is going to happen or what is the goal. So you mean to say there is no defined goal? You'll discover it as you proceed further.
You don't know what you're going to discover. No, if you know what you're going to discover, the game is over. See, people think I will marry and discover happiness. Anybody has discovered that? Tell me honestly. That is a mirage only. So you cannot discover something before it happens to you. This is what we are thinking. I will know, then I will do. Tell me everything, I will do. This is the problem of modern day intellect. How can you know something when you don't have an experience of that?
Yes.
Can you explain me how a tomato soup will taste without me tasting?
True.
So as a psychologist, as a psychotherapist, how these processes will help is, when you go through the case study, you are very robust using your sthula buddhi to understand everything, but you allow the process to unfold because it is their life. See, the moment you start micromanaging a client, remember in our tradition, they say their karma, which is akin to a monkey, will sit on your back. That is why surgeons have gloves. When we all had corona, we had mask. Whenever dealing with somebody without precaution, what is there within them will come on to you. So I keep telling, coaching is as good as Vedanta, a profession which has no karma attached to it. Every other profession, what the doctor does, take the glove, wash with Dettol, then they become clear and come back. So if you are in the profession where you are going to dig deep the history to help, Your intention is to help, not to know their story.
Mm.
Intention is clear. After
Yes,
every
yes,
process
yes,
with
yes.
clients, before the process and after, you need to do a deep cleansing of connecting with the source. And telling the source, see, I am only a media, you are delivering the results. I have no idea about the results. It is like a scientist getting into the lab with an open mind, then only they can discover paracetamol. You understood? But before entering the lab, they know which
Mm.
chemicals
Yeah.
are there. But how it is going to turn out, they don't know, right? They're open to that. So that is how counselors,
Yes.
psychologists can operate in their world without getting the karma back.
Karma. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
I had a question over here.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, please, please. Yeah, please, Subodh. Yeah, go ahead.
For the last several days, been trying to understand. So, based on this recent conversation, what we were having, saying that if one has realized the purpose of life, then the quest of moving forward gets dissolved. Is that a fair understanding?
Can you state again?
So, with the recent conversation of the last 3-4 minutes, what we were saying, if we are aware of the unknown, then the fun in life gets dissolved. Correct? But then when we look at an Atma or a soul, every soul has a journey, every soul has a purpose. Okay. So coming back, what I wanted to understand, if one needs to get into the Astika Jivna, they also need to understand the deep purpose of what he or she is made for to be achieved in this Janma or walk in that path. So if they have realized, you believe the journey stops for me, but I believe it is different because if I have realized that my journey is in this path, then I would walk with a lot of joy in that path to learn more. So I believe that is purpose for me. But when you said, I just got confused. If we know the purpose, then the fun of life gets dissolved. I may be wrong.
We never spoke about personal journey. We spoke about the clients or the students who are participating. We never spoke about personal journey. In our tradition, it is very clear. The purpose of life is to know who you are. You don't want to accept, keep taking births. Sometime you have to do it, like college arrears. The objective is clearing the college. You don't accept, it doesn't matter. You have to clear the arrears. But there is a small subset into that. First step is to know who is Subodh Kumar. That is called Swadharma. That is understanding you as a personality. There itself, many of us are struggling. Because we may want to be a painter, but our mother thought her sister's son did an engineering and they dumped us in engineering college. This happens in India, right? By the time you are 40 years and you have a 20-year EMI, you realize you are actually a street painter, not an engineer. But you can't do anything about it. So at least in the weekends, you start some podcast, some YouTube, start writing and rambling, bringing out. People think you are so creative, but you're only outpouring all the problems. Okay. So first step is to discover who you are as a personality. That is called Swadharma.
Swadharma.
With a small s. With the idea that whoever we are, to tell you in a very metaphor way, we are all waves. Waves in the ocean of life. But the ocean is made up of water. So how much ever high the wave is, whether the wave is in Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean, it is only made up of water. That is the purpose of life, is to discover that we are all water in essence. That's it.
Water.
First, for that, first we should know we are a wave. We are only focusing on seeing the other wave. We don't even know what wave we are. Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah. Subodh, does it answer your question?
Yes, actually, this is a very deep subject. I
Yes.
don't know.
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
It would
Yes.
be injustice to say that I got it because
Yeah.
You
but
write this
I
one
would not want
statement,
to disturb the
Subodh. You write this one statement, keep reading it. And when you read it, you don't start with the statement, I believe. You believe only what you already know. You are going to encounter something which you don't know. So when you use that word will limit you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's simple. How many of us are here again? 4 into 5, 20 people are there. There are
20
20
people.
waves in the sea. Everything is appearing different. This is the
Absolutely.
Laukika Drishti. But what is the
Yes.
spiritual Drishti? When you look in, you know we are all human beings first. Then the classification comes. She is in Germany, I am here, and everybody is in everywhere. So we are only focusing on classifications which are creating confusion.
Classification.
You go to the source where there is no classification, that is spirituality. Very simple.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishnaji. This is very like Subodh said, we may not be able to understand it only, but I think for me, I don't know about the group, but I'm sure if you have any comments, you can put it in the chat. But it's very thought provoking. It makes you think. It makes you think about like several things. So going further, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So going further, like while we're discussing this, we talked about Swadharma of who we are, and then we talked about the levels. We talked about the Yoga Nidra, where you reach a level where you are more at peace. Or probably I may not be using the right word, but I feel the idea of free mind, which you talked about when we were discussing, and I thought I should ask you a question about it. That what practices or techniques do you recommend for people to begin with? You talked about multiple intelligences, and you also mentioned about the idea of free mind. Krishnaji, can you help us understand this idea of free mind?
Like a child, the child understands more languages without going to school because it believes it can do it. It's not limiting itself. So what my teacher said once is, life is a series of situations. First statement. And a situation is coming to us because we can manage it.
Beautiful.
Second, he said there are no coincidences in life. There's a coincidence because there is something for us, a knowledge exchange is there, or it is reminding us of something. Okay, so these are the benefits we will get in Yoga Nidra. First is it will help us to get deep sleep, proper sleep, because all of us here are paying tax and we are earning above industry, or at least one of the best in our friend circle. We can afford a good home. But one thing many of us are not able to do is to experience or enjoy that to the full. Many of us are already diabetic. We can't even have a rasgulla. It is stress diabetes, actually. So we have a lot of case studies where people have dealt with the stress by regular practice of Yoga Nidra and Pranayama. You take a 21-day challenge and do it. Okay. Second is, Yoga Nidra helps us to understand that there is a method to relax the body, mind scientifically. Because all of us want to know first and then practice next. So once you take baby steps to learn this, you will know there are deeper meanings. Then the trust in the system increases. Then like peeling onion, we can go various levels into that. The next process which we can learn from a traditional teacher is inner silence, how to cultivate inner silence. So what we will do is, some of the resources I'm going to share with Priyanka. Whoever is there, please take those resources from her. So we did a masterclass on Antar Mauna stage 1, wherein everything is shared. You know why we have no patent or copyright for Veda or Vedanta? So there's a Bhagavad Gita book there. How many of you have 7 habits of highly effective people at home?
Me.
Does that mean we are effective? No, I don't believe in holding the knowledge back. I am ready to give, but you should be able to use it, no? So we'll give it in small doses. So we'll share the resources with you. And the third, I started the session by saying, we are approaching this topic like how an astika approaches the study. So please go back to your parents. Please go back to your spiritual teacher or an organization which you trust. First, pick up a mantra sadhana.
Okay.
And again, today scientific researches are done. For many mantras, you please pick it up. So you need a relaxation technique, conscious relaxation technique, which is Yoga Nidra. You need a conscious technique to manage your sense and mind called Antar Mauna. And you need something to hold on, because we came alone, we have to go alone.
Yes.
Let's be very clear about it. The only thing which will stay with us while we are alive is our breath and the mantra. Everything else is transitory. Our income, our relationships, our moods, everything is transitory. So its mantra by definition is called Mananat Trayate Iti Mantraha. That means that which protects the one who does it. Very simple. So this is the third thing we need to do. The fourth thing is we somehow try to become grateful. Like Mother Sharada said, she is never able to see any fault in anybody. Everybody is perfect in their own way. So in a transactional life, we may have to pull up somebody for not doing the job. So we pull up for the job, we don't pull up the person. We don't mix the personality dealing there. In the job role, there is a problem. So you use Samadhana, Beda, Danda to deal with them. But that should not percolate into our personality that we have a lot of vengeance towards that personality. You got it? So the gratitude is extremely important. And the fifth one is, I don't know. You have to discover the fifth thing for yourself. If you need to discover, otherwise you can leave it. 4 itself is too much.
Krishnaji, you also mentioned about withdrawal, and then I think with everything that is available on the internet today, you had mentioned about stop taking in third-party knowledge, blind clarity, and that is in terms of Swadhyay. Can you highlight a bit on it, because I don't want to miss important topics that we have discussed, and I want the group to know.
Yeah. Okay.
And sorry to interrupt. Knowledge transfer from an acharya. So can you elaborate on more?
Yeah. So the word acharya has the meaning, the one who does the acharana, walking the talk. The one who walks the talk is called acharya.
Correct.
Okay. Then you have a category of teachers who are called the gurus.
Okay.
Okay. A guru can rarely be an acharya because we cannot understand the ways and means of a guru. So what we need to do, we follow the acharya in thought, word, and deed. What they do, we can follow. But you only have to follow what the guru says. If you start following the guru, you will go mad. Because their ways are different, inscrutable. So that is the first way to approach. Okay. Second is, I'll ask the familiar question, we already spoke about chemistry and psychology. Any other subject?
Yes.
Any technical subject people? Anybody engineer is here?
Engineer. I'm sure there could be many.
Sarvjot, you're an engineer? What subject you?
Human resources.
Human resources.
I'm a coach actually now.
Yeah, I know you. That's
background is HR.
Yes. I'm aware of, we are all in the same coaches circle. I'm aware of you. Okay, so can I understand a book written for say organization development, OD? I have no idea about HR. But it is written in English. Can I understand that book?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Know the language.
Okay. Harish is smiling. I know. We have to be very clear. If you understand this, you will understand Swadhyaya. Your language skill does not equal your subject skill. Your subject knowledge is different, language knowledge is different. My English is good. I will tell you, I will never be able to appreciate or understand a book on psychology without Priyanka's help. I cannot understand a book on coding without Sai's help. It is written in English. It doesn't mean we will understand. This is the mistake we do. We pick up any book which is coming in offer on spiritual intelligence and Bhagavad Gita, start to read, and you can't digest anything from that. All you know is it is written in English. So what is Swadhyaya in the traditional context is you take the reference of which book to study from your teacher, or if you're studying CA, you have a senior apprentice. If you are in coaching, you speak with your mentor coach, or if you're an ACC, talk with the PCC. You go by recommendation because they will know exactly at the stage where you are without judging you. what you can understand. So if you have to pursue Swadhyaya, we should understand language knowledge is different from subject knowledge. I am
Subject
telling you
knowledge.
honestly, I can't understand organization development or psychology without both of your help. But I know English well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have to start with that first. Take recommendation, go slow. Slowly you will understand. For example, to deliver this talk, I have not read any book. In fact, based on such talks, we are putting together a book. So all books are coming out after experience. That is why I said you are
Experiences, yeah.
studying somebody's experience. Nothing wrong in it. But what is your experience without any filter? You need to do your work. How you will do your work, you have to quieten, go within and understand whether you need it. Everybody is studying Harry Potter doesn't mean you also go and study Harry Potter. There was a book called Fountainhead, some Ayn Rand. I saw many people
Yes,
carrying it like
yes,
a
there's a
pillow.
book
Yeah.
of
They are
that.
not studying that book. For fashion's sake, they were buying the book and walking everywhere around. This is our level of Swadhyaya. So you should only do guided self-study, which will help us to pick up this. We need to do mantra sadhana to work with the mind. We need pranayama to work with the prana level body. You need yoga nidra to relax from annamaya to everything. So only when there is complete stillness and relaxation, that you give a scope for spiritual intelligence to come to you. Because the moment you say, I know, you start moving, nothing will come to you.
Yes. So you also mentioned about withdrawal. Is that the part? Is that the similar? Is it a part of the 5 things that you mentioned about? Because withdrawal is like in psychology, it's different, of course. But then, for example, in terms of addiction, there are stages. So withdrawal is something, or in terms of medication, it's different. So how does it work here?
Okay. So where is Harleen sitting now and having a mug of coffee or tea?
I think someone got.
On my dining table.
Yeah.
So to do anything worthwhile, you have to withdraw from other places. She withdrew from the entrance. She withdrew from the bedroom, bathroom, everywhere. This is withdrawal. Anything we need to do worthwhile, we have to withdraw. This is physical withdrawal. Then she withdrew from other activities. I assume nobody is seeing the mobile. You have withdrawn from your mobile during the session. So anything you need to do worthwhile in life, you have to withdraw from everything and you need to be present there. Yoga Nidra and Antarmona or Mantra Sadhana are techniques which will help us to withdraw from the vagaries of mind as well as things going around to just be with yourself. That is the way we do withdrawal. The withdrawal symptoms and other things in psychology is something different. You go through a problem, then you have that is the English withdrawal. So this itself is enough to say that if I read your book, I will understand withdrawal in a different way. But that is not, you have to tell me this is withdrawal in psychology. That is why I don't pick up a book on a subject which I don't know and study just because I know English. Yeah, Deepa.
It's just a very, this question has been popping up as you keep saying that, you don't start with I know, right? But we all are here to be accredited. We say we practice, we pioneer, we, sharp our knowledge, all of that, right? And some or the other way, we keep doing that, to reach the higher space wherever we are. But when it comes to spiritual, I think when you say you're just surrendering yourself, right? And there is also practice, there is also techniques. How do we, like say, okay, I, practice yoga nidra now and I'm good at it? Or how do you say that I know or I am there? How do you acknowledge that part? Or do you say it's all different and we do it in our own ways? And yeah, just a little confusing in my brain.
No
but
problem.
thought that, yeah.
Because we use the word ego in a wrong way today. The only work of ego is to do what you said. That is identifying who you are. Somebody calls me Krishna, I should know they are calling me. That is the purpose of ego. It is called self-arrogating principle. That is, everything stops there. So who are you? I am an ACC coach. So you are always allowed to say what is definite and you know it. But can you say the client has come exactly for this before the coaching? If you start assuming and having the bias of your past, then that interferes with the coaching, no? If you say, I know people who are coming with a yellow color shirt for coaching conversation will have this problem. This kind of, you think you are going to use your patterns to decipher somebody, that is a problem. That I know is a danger thing. But an I know, which is your identity, is never danger, because even great saints will have that identity. That is why the body is there. As long as you have a body, you need an identity. That is why you don't enter into apartment 504, you enter into 502, which is your home. So for identification purposes, we need to use ego. We should not use that to put down somebody. But we are using ego to put down somebody, because that is the way in psychology, like withdrawal for psychology is different. Ego is understood differently. Here we call ahamkara, that which is helping you to first establish who you are. That is the main work of ego.
Thank you. I think it kind of.
We have gone beyond that time. People are going to send
Yes, yes,
messages
yes.
to me. Sorry.
So considering, yeah, no, it's okay, Krishna ji. I think it's very meaningful to have these questions. I have last two quick questions. I will merge them into one, so that we get to know more from you. So for coaches today, what is your message? I would love to hear from you about how can we relate this to many people who join us today, and also many people who are going to view this later. And along with that, can you share a personal experience or a story where spiritual intelligence or this practice has played a very important role in your life in achieving a goal, so beyond the ordinary? So these are the two questions for you, Krishna ji, before we end this.
No, the very way we all have gathered is, I have no idea. I would not have done this job myself. Okay, so according to me, every step is happening like that only. We have to just be there as much as possible. I am not claiming to be that. So even Subodh addressed me as Guruji. I am not a Guruji. I am a householder. I get frequently scolded at home because this was the first kurta in the wardrobe. I just took it and wore and came. This is the truth. And after that, I realized this as if I am a normal grihastha only. Okay. So please don't call me Guru Ji. And I am Krishna. Krishna itself is a super name. That's enough. No G is required. Okay. Then it is not only going to help coaches. What if each of us develop that coaching as a skill in leadership, coaching as a skill in dealing with a family member? So we help people to unfold their potential instead of becoming an advisor, asked or unasked. We are there to give advice like mad, okay? People were just coming and telling us something. Whether they like or not, we start giving advice, right? That penchant to advise people will stop. Unless asked, like computer also will help you, only when you do F1. Like that, remember. But AI is taking it to a wrong level. It's helping you how to type an email, so your brain is getting blunt. That is another level of help. That is not I am telling about. So unless someone asks, we keep quiet. And even if someone is asking me a question personally, I think April and Sai and Harish have studied with us at Srimad. Unless you tell me if you will really implement it, I will not answer your question. I am not obligated to answer your question. For intellectual intoxication, Google is there. You can go and get it. So this is the way I deal. I preserve myself like that. Okay. And it's again, people have to take a decision what they have to do. No. So similarly, this skill will help us to bring in the coaching mindset to whichever role we are playing. So that first, karma balance we can manage. Second, let people feel that they are bringing the solutions. So you can empower people, enable people that way better. So there is interdependency and not complete dependency on you for everything. So that is how I feel developing some of these skill sets and the processes practice will help us in running day-to-day life, whether it is work or family life.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna ji. We have a question from Arun. Wonderful discussion. Priyanka, are we going to share this recording? Yes, we are going to share this recording. Harleen Krishna ji has a comment where she says, it is an observation. I see similarity between spirituality and coaching. And that is to invite and allow an individual internalize. Krishna ji, this is a very powerful statement. Do you want to speak a bit quickly about this? Is there a similarity between
Yeah.
spirituality and coaching?
That's the course we are doing now, which is always running full batch. Mapping
Okay.
coaching competencies with Indic wisdom is the batch which is happening always. So
Okay.
ICF coaches, non-ICF coaches, leaders, everybody is studying.
Perfect.
See, in the tradition, Vidya is Vidya. We in our ignorance say this is material and that is spiritual. Vidya is knowledge. That's it. Where you deploy, how you deploy is up to you. To earn money, you deploy, it doesn't mean material. As long as it is as per dharma, the knowledge deployment is in the spiritual domain only. That way we have to understand. That's it. So there is a deep connection between coaching and
Yes.
Vedanta, because
Yes.
Vedanta says, who am I? The ultimate reality. But here in coaching, we coach the person to discover who they are. We don't coach the problem. Once you coach the person can come out of any problem, correct? That is why you do
Yes.
strengths coaching, this coaching, everything. So that is why spirituality or Vedanta coaching, wherever knowledge is involved consciously as per dharma, then you can call it a spiritual approach. That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Krishna ji. And I'm sorry I'm extending it 7:26. But one last thing I think we discussed and I don't want to miss, it just popped in my mind. You talked about, I had asked you a question personally that, we hear about people talking about awakenings, meditation leading to higher energy. Is it true? How can you simplify this process? And I want, I love the way I've made little notes when we talked and you said that, focus on what is achievable. What do you want to tell us about it? Ending note. Yeah.
Don't break your head on all that. When that comes, you will know. Because by knowing that none of us are going to benefit anything now, I'm telling you honestly, it's like Google tells, no, when you reach, you will know. You will not ask, have I reached? You will know. You are there, it will say. So when you are really awakened, you will know. Because whatever I say will not make you understand what is awakening, because you have never experienced it.
Yes, yes.
Allow it to happen. Let us excel in whatever duties we do, and Divine Mother will take care of all that stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful. I remember I've made a small note when you had said, if you are the savior of the world, you will know.
You will know. Swami Shivananda said, I didn't say, Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh.
Sorry, okay. I heard it from you.
Yeah, he said, don't worry too much. If you are the savior of the world, you will know. Otherwise, mind your business, do your job. Anyway, our spouses tell that only always. So in India, we are used to this.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you so
Krishna ji. We have a beautiful note from Sarvajot expressing gratitude on our chat. She says, thank you for sharing this knowledge and bringing this to us. I have experienced the power of Yoga Nidra during the World Record Challenge, and I know it is matchless. Thank you, Priyanka. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Krishna ji, especially for being with us today. I'm sure we're going to have more versions of these sessions in a different way. It was truly a journey for me specifically, and I'm not sure how much of this book is going to give me unless I start some of it basically. But yes, about mindfulness. Truly, it was a wonderful session, Krishna ji. Thank you for joining us. In terms of, I'm just helping the other participants with our ICF-CC certificate webinar, a closing password. Jayant is going to help us with it. Still, I'm going to dictate. It's going to be on the screen for all of you to note. Krishna ji, if you want to leave, if you want to take a note, if you want
Thank
to,
you.
I respect your time and energy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The password, closing password is VOKNFG. I believe, Jayant, everything is in small, K just being capital. I repeat, small V, O, capital K, small N, F, and G. The closing password is on our chats. Jayant has shared with us. I repeat for the last time, it's small v, small o, capital K, small n, and F, G. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We're going to have amazing sessions every month through this Coach Connecting platform. I wish you all a great evening, probably, and a great week ahead. Thank you for joining in. The upcoming new ICF coach certification led by Dr. Paras is beginning soon on 26th of August, 2024. So 7:30 p.m. IST onwards for IST and 10:30 a.m. EST. Thank you, everyone. I'm Priyanka. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Very
you.
nice
Thank
session.
you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.